What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. This video we're going to be looking at Crucial's latest release on their portable SSD line, and these happen to be the X9 and X10. And we had taken a look at like the X8s and X7s, so this is just the next iteration of their portable SSD solution. And they've really raised the bar compared to previous releases of the X line. And so let's dive right in, and we'll start with the X9 Pro. This is the cheaper of the two models, but it's also about half the specs of the two models when we get into the performance and stuff. So let's go ahead and pop this open. We'll look at the box. 2 terabytes. Now you can get this in 2 and I believe 1 and 4 terabytes. So this is the middle of the road option here. Again, this is the Pro series. And this is USB 3.2 Gen 2, which means you can basically get 10 gigabits per second, right? Which means 1050, which 1050 megabytes translates to the 10 gigabits. So it's got a 5-year limited warranty. It is password protected, so this does have some protection. You do have to install some software to manage the drive that Crucial provides for free. It is water resistant. That doesn't mean you can go and submerge this bad boy. It just means if you spill something on it, if you're out in some water, rain, whatever, it should be able to withstand that. And then it's also dust resistant, and both of these basically have the same when it comes to their durability protection, right? So they are basically high-grade aluminum build, and they basically have the dust splash. Now when I say splash, it is IP55. Drop proof, they're up to 7.5 feet or 2 meters. So that's basically what you're looking at when it comes to the durability protection of both of these. So you're going to get that no matter what. And you're going to get hardware encryption as well, which is not really on this. But we'll get into it. It is AES 256 encrypted, so if you lose this, it's going to be pretty hard for anyone to get your data. So that's another thing. It's got hardware-based encryption. I don't think there's anything else on the back, so let's go ahead and pop it open, take a look at the actual unit. And then we'll go over just the differences between the X9 and the X10. I guess I should have cut this before I started filming. I didn't know this was in such a glued down state. So we're going to rip. There we go. Rip it open. Alright. Everything's falling out. And these things are tiny. I mean, I'm actually a little overwhelmed at the size of this. This is small. I actually expected it to be a little bit bigger. So yeah, get started. There's a little QR code. There's no instructions really in the box, so you'll scan this online and get the setup instructions. And here we go. Oh, that's a nice looking drive there. Very, very nice. It's got a little lanyard spot for it. There's also a little LED indicator in here, so you know when it's actually doing reads and writes. Here's your USB-C port. Recessed in there pretty good, if you can't tell, so that's going to give it a little more protection when it comes to the elements. And other than that, nice rounded corners. That's part of the drop protection there. So very, very nice. 2 terabytes, Crucial X9 Pro. Now the size on this, again, 65 by 50 millimeters. That's tiny. This is a mini. And you also get a nice little tiny, man, what is that? Maybe a foot? USB-C. So keep it close. It's small. You don't want it dangling on a long cable, so I get that. So that's nice. And again, sequential reads of 1050 megabytes per second and writes of 1050 megabytes per second, because it is USB 3.2 Gen 2 USB-C. This probably would work though with a Type A adapter, which they do not provide. So if you had a USB-A port, it has to be at least 3.2 Gen 2, and you should be able to take advantage of this without the USB-C, right? And I think that's it. So let's move on to the X10 Pro, and let's do a little comparison here. Again, everything is going to pretty much compare that I've gone over: size, durability, all that stuff, features, password protection, encryption, yada yada. The difference, okay, obviously there's a price difference. This is about double the price, but it's also double the performance. So what you're going to get out of this, and you can see here, it is 2 terabytes. It is available in the same sizes. You're getting 2100 megabytes per second reads and 2000 megabytes per second writes. That is because this drive is 3.2 Gen 2 2x2. So what that does is that allows 20 gigabytes per second, and basically it cheats, right? So if you're using a Gen 2 regular, you're basically got like 4 pairs of channels in here, transmit channels that the data goes to and fro. So you're basically only using 2 paths, basically, right? Well, this does double down, 2x2. That means you're using 4 paths of data. You're going to get double the speed because you've now multiplied. Think of it as a 2-lane highway versus a 4-lane highway, right? You're going to get a lot more throughput down a 4-lane highway than you would a 2-lane highway. So you're basically doubling down. You have to have a port that supports USB 3.2 Gen 2 2x2. All right? If you had a Thunderbolt 4, it should work. But otherwise, you know, I think you're going to have to see where it says 2x2 or Super USB. Some of them had that montage on it, so that's different. Again, these come in EXFAT. So if we want to get down into the weeds a little bit on some details, they are formatted as EXFAT, which means they will run on Windows, Mac, Android, iPad, Linux, Xbox, and PlayStations, right? So it's basically a wide gambit of systems that they support out of the box that is EXFAT. You can format this in multiple formats, though, if you wanted to specifically use it, because EXFAT has some limitations, right? You can't get certain large file sizes on EXFAT. So if you needed to format it to a specific platform, you can do NTFS, APFS, HFS, and HFS Plus. So that would work for the specific platform. So that means if you wanted to use it with BitLocker on Windows, you can. FileVault on Mac OS, you can. So you don't have to download the proprietary encryption stuff and all that from Crucial and password protection. You can use whatever native OS that you're wanting it to, but you'll have to format it to the format version that hardware and software lines support. Okay? So let's go ahead and open this up. And again, where do we do it? Let's do easiest point of entry, right? Well, that's going to tear the box. Oh, let's peel it off. There we go. Now this one here, get a little instruction manual, I guess. I didn't see it come out of the other box, but it did. Same cable. And in this one, same design, everything. Crucial, this one's just a black color, so you can see there. Nice anodized aluminum. Same ports, same lanyard hole, same LED light that's going to be in there. Alright, now let's do a quick test with this bad boy and show you the speed differences. Now, unfortunately, I do not believe my MacBook will support the 20 gig throughput. So we're not going to really look at that. I have a 2019, I think, MacBook Pro M1, and it has 2 ports on them, but I believe they're Thunderbolt 3. So they should not support the 2x2 or Super USB or whatever you want to call it to get the 20 gig throughput. So I cannot, unfortunately, demo that, but we can definitely look and make sure that these get the USB 3.2 Gen 2 specs that they put up. And this one's, that's going to be the max. This one here, not going to be able to show you that one. I need to update my MacBook, obviously, right? We'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. So I've got the X9 plugged in, and let's do an interesting little speed test first off. Now I've got this directly connected into my port. This is the cable provided, everything provided with this device. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a 2 gig stress test to this crucial drive. And if you see in here, there's a little LED light glowing in there. So let's go ahead and hit start test. And what you're going to see is it's going to write a file out here. It's a test file. Start. And now our LED light's glowing, flashing as it's trying to do its data transfers here. And a little disappointing is that we're only getting 700 megabytes writes and almost 850 megabytes read, which is under what basically, you know, this one says it can get 1050 both ways. So a little disappointing. It's not performing as advertised. Okay. Now I wanted to point out one little interesting thing here too, that I went to their website and was going to download their management software, which is called Crucial Storage Executive, and it is only available for Windows. I did not see a Mac version, so I don't know with a Mac if I could manage this, which means I can't manage it with the passwords, or I can't do firmware upgrades. As you can see here, it says OS compatibility is Windows 7, 8, 10, and 11, and then that works with these drives. So, and again, here is your OS compatible 64-bit, 7, 8, 10, and 11. So I don't see a way to download that for Mac. So that's an interesting little tidbit. So that was the X9. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to eject the X9. And let's plug in the X10. Again, provided cables. One thing too, this is a little rubber underneath, so when you set it down, it doesn't move around very much. That's kind of a nice little feature there. So we're going to use the exact same port. Plug in the X10, and we're going to say, yeah, let's allow it. All right. And no, I don't want to back it up. So let's go back to our disk test, and let's go ahead and say File, select Target Drive, and now it says X10 Pro. We're going to select that. We're going to open, and let's go ahead and let's do a 1 gig. Start with that. Let's start. And again, 731 writes, 851 reads, so it's about the same. So it's a little underperforming on this MacBook M1, although this is 3.2 Gen 2. We're underperforming what is advertised on the box. So a little disappointing. Let's just do this. Let's just swap cables. Although we use 2 different cables, we'll do this and we'll put it in a different port. All part of troubleshooting, right? I didn't eject it properly. I got it, yeah. So let's go ahead and we put in the X10, not now. Let's do File, let's select Target Drive. Let's see if swapping the cables, swapping the ports, any difference. Just for chagrins. Nope. 728 writes, about an 850 read. So, up to you. Again, this is a little older MacBook Pro. It might perform a little bit better on a newer generation machine. And yes, I'm going to create a GoFundMe out there. So if you want to donate for the MacBook Pro new line 2023 edition, then shoot, hit me up. All about it. And I'll test these for you personally. So, you know, guys, check the show notes for a link. I'll have that for both models. You know, they're good. I'm disappointed that they're not measuring up, and I don't have the storage executive for Mac. that wasn't in the actual documentation. So looks like you have to have a Windows machine to manage these guys with the passwords and the firmwares and all that kind of stuff. So is what it is. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always guys, thanks for watching and have a good one.